thank you so much for joining us for the first ever Storm Connect. We're so delighted to collaborate with IRENE and Ttya Talks. Before we introduce the panel, we'll tell you what we're talking about today, which is disconnection. What's the longest amount of time you've spent away from your phone?
I'd say with my smartphone, probably no more than an hour. But the last time I had a good stint away from it would be my Motorola Razr that I had about 5 years ago. So that was, yeah, I mean, since then it's been pretty constant.
Yeah, probably like a lot of the girls, because they're freelancers and you work for yourself, you end up social work and everything in between is one big mix.
Yeah, I guess kind of on the same vein, when I wake up, I already have my phone on airplane mode, so I try not to check it for the first hour of my day.
Do you mean phone or social media? Because I've stepped away from social media for like a week, 2 weeks in the past, but I still use my phone.
I remember like a couple of months ago there was this app I downloaded, I think it's called Moment or something like that, and it actually tracks how long you spend on your phone throughout the day. And I remember like the first day I used it, I think it was like 7 hours or something, and I was like, what the hell?
Do you think it is realistic that we actually talk about switching on?
Sometimes I'll be speaking on DM with someone and I'll be like, hold on, I have your number, why am I messaging you on DM? Yeah. So it's just like, it's now so integrated into my personal life.
And I think it's kind of a given now with a lot, especially with like working in the creative industry, that you don't switch off is an extension of your work. And
I think one of the big topics of conversation as a whole for all of us, like everyone in the street, every queue I line up in, everyone is talking about how to manage online, offline personalities and online, offline lives.
It's so funny you were saying like online versus offline, because I was literally having a conversation with someone earlier today, and it was like, I feel like you have this almost online self, or like even if you do try to put like different facets of yourself online, again, you don't have control over how people perceive it.
Yeah. We live in a world where everything has to be categorized and put into a box, and like, I'm just me.
In the space of 1 week, I saw 2 dead bodies on Instagram, and that had gone viral. And to see it, I did forensic science at uni, so it was quite, with me seeing dead bodies, it was a shock to see it on Instagram.
Do you think that within a few years we'll see a health warning? So you sign into Instagram and a banner comes up saying, this is a potentially addicted space. You may see content that offends you. Do you think that there will be like a watershed?
some posts on Instagram, they do now have like an eye symbol with a cross thing, and it kind of warns you of the sensitive things.
I think it kind of like leads to a wider discussion about like our lack of empathy and lack of, like, again, narcissism when it comes to social media, because I feel like there is a lack of empathy generally across social media. Like,
people would rather than help, they'd rather film it. And sometimes their filming can be good in terms of like crime scene evidence and like being able to like see who was in the vicinity at the time, but also it's like your first reaction wasn't to help, it was to film.
I think we're all learning how to be better now, you know? And it's a process. Education is a process, and I feel like we also have to be more patient with each other sometimes. Not everyone, but like we also all live in fear of like saying the right thing and the right context and the right tone, and the, you know, it's just so much pressure. I feel like people aren't really speaking necessarily from the heart anymore.
It's at a point now where we have to take self-control a bit, and I feel like having spaces like this and being able to discuss it openly is what's more needed.
I think on the positive side, the freedom that it gives you, you know, if you look at SIMRAN, if you look at Galden, you know, like Liv's mission with setting up Galden was to show that there is no one type of woman. And you think about that, how that kind of messaging, you know, would Galden exist without Instagram?
would all of our businesses be flourishing if it wasn't for Instagram? And I think for me, a lot of the appeal from Instagram was connecting with a community, which was like the creative South Asian community, which I wasn't really aware of before, especially like the London South Asian creative community, just because in my direct circle, in my direct network, there wasn't many examples of people doing the work that I was doing was similar to that.
What would the social media landscape look like that we want to hand down to the next generation?
34% of Generation Z, which is if you're born after 1994, so I'm narrowing my search in. But they're all kind of disconnecting. Like, I mean, my younger cousins, they don't use Instagram. I think people are a lot more into like self-care as well. And, like, we've kind of laid the foundation for people to be more aware of like how it can be quite damaging to their mental health.
I think you can even separate kids who have grown up in the Facebook generation to Instagram and Snapchat generation, because it's like voyeuristic narcissism and voyeurism on a level that has never happened before.
Sometimes when you're getting quite like, there's like you're on your own and you kind of want to see a bit of validation, but you forget you're talking to everyone. Exactly. And so, that can be kind of quite daunting.
So much of my work has come through the existence of Instagram. I can't deny its power. I think obviously talking about mental health is very much an important thing, but for me personally anyway, I think like I've thought about it in the past, like I felt like I was maybe being dishonest.
There is a lot of positives, like instant contact, and in some of the past talks we've been remember the days when you used to try and want to work with someone and you have to do like detective work to find out where they were going to be and then to meet them, to speak to them, to get their business card, and now you can just DM them.
Guys, thank you so much for everything.
The panel was a really strong, but for me it was more just like understanding that a lot of us speak to the underprivileged girl or the girl who always feels like an outsider. So I think it's really important for us to unify and make the excluded girl feel included.
That whole conversation about how we maintain our real selves in like a world where we're also increasingly brands was like an important conversation.
Social media breeds people to feel insular and alone, and the only way to break through that is having honest, frank discussion.
I feel like there's definitely pros and cons of social media. I feel like, especially with Instagram, it's helped me build my business, but also helped me cut out the middleman and be direct to consumer. Like my customers can DM me and be like, can you make this dress a little orange, or I really love this style.
What I found most interesting probably was the discussion about how we show online now, like how we navigate our successes.
I've got better with knowing when to switch off. I think a big step for me, and it sounds so trivial when you say it out loud, but was turning off all notifications. So that's helped me in the way that you don't have this sort of prompt to say, hey, look, that sort of disruption.
We're always constantly learning, we're always constantly evolving, and sometimes it's nice for people to be able to relate to you so that they can see like what you're doing and be like, okay, cool.
I'm guilty in that I don't try that often to check out social media. I think that, like if you go on holiday, I guess there's more like, you can detach, but as it's so ingrained in like my work as a model, and then also kind of like I'm just interested in people for my writing, like my writing work, and so like it's very hard to kind of detach from it. It's like quite obsessive.
There is so much value in talking about shared experiences, and that so many people are going through the same things, but it's just like an experience that we don't necessarily give voice to.
One of the comments today was like, it's important to show the journey, and I feel like that's what people really are attracted to, like authenticity and being authentic. And I feel like with my brand, I'm a tall woman who represents for tall women, and I feel like that's probably why my brand has been so successful, because people can relate to me and they see that it's authentic.